So after making my last video, I realized something. There's been a hell of a lot of Overwatch bugs recently, and I just wanted to kind of take a moment in this video and recap some of what we've been seeing in such a short period of time, but then also talk about why I think this might be happening, and hopefully what Blizzard can do in the future to alleviate this problem. Now, not all bugs are a tremendous deal, but some of them are, and some of them are in fact game-breaking. So here is a list of all of the major bugs that we've seen in Overwatch just in the past month. I'm talking 4 weeks here, that's it. First, there was the Mei attack and ultimate bug, where she could no longer slow her enemies. This was obviously a huge problem for Mei players because it made it so that enemies could run away before she applied her freeze. This made her tremendously less effective. Fortunately, that one was fixed. Then there was the black window bug. Now this was an odd one because it required players to be looking through windows through shields, so it only tremendously affected a character like Reinhardt and everyone behind his shield in certain situations, namely that first attack point on Volsky Industries. This wasn't a big issue, and fortunately it was also fixed. But then there's the Symmetra's invincible teleporter bug, which as far as I'm aware still to this day is in effect. Symmetra players can bug out their teleporter so that it cannot be attacked. There was the Diva crashing games bug, where impetus for it was her ejecting from her mech or casting her ultimate, one or the other, that actually caused her to crash matches. She was removed from play for several hours, and then that one was fixed. But then there's the no respawn bug, which we saw displayed by Tim the Tatman a little while ago, where respawning at the exact same time that the enemy team captures a point makes it so that you literally won't respawn, because you're supposed to respawn in one location, but that location moved, so now you're stuck unable to respawn. The only fix for this was leaving the match. As far as I'm aware, that has not been fixed. There's the Sombra invincibility emote bug, which fellas over at Your Overwatch made a video about not too long ago, where Sombra can basically cancel the delay from leaving invisibility by using an emote at the same time. It's this weird little convoluted thing. That hasn't been fixed. There's the Infinite Dragon Blade bug, which we first saw a couple of days ago, where a Genji player can bug out his Dragon Blade animation and stay in it indefinitely. Yes, indefinitely. It'll never run out until he dies, I guess. And then there's the teleport bugs, which I just talked about in my last video, where McCree, when inflicted by a Mei's ice wall under his feet while doing a combat roll, will jettison into the air. Or we saw Diva move from one location to another instantaneously due to a Reinhardt charge while she ejected from her mech. Those haven't been fixed either. So of everything I listed, of the 8 bugs just from the past month, only 3 of them, as far as I'm aware, have been fixed to this date. Lots of them are still being exploited and used on a regular basis in your matches today. So what do I think is happening here? Well, the common thread is this time period, and everything falls after the Uprising event. So a lot of people are pointing directly to the Uprising events as the cause for all of these bugs. And that makes a lot of sense, because as with a lot of events, Uprising was not put into the PTR, because Blizzard doesn't want to show everyone that this is happening before it actually happens. These events are supposed to be fun, a surprise, and everyone gets access to that once, not people test them on the PTR for several weeks. So, without testing on the PTR, a large part of the PTR testing is not only for the sake of balance, if they make balance changes, but also to find these sort of bugs and issues and fix them before they push these updates live. Again, because it was an event, they didn't spend that time on the PTR, so these bugs went unspotted except for their own internal testing team, which, as most developers do, Blizzard has a team of QA testers which will try to find their bugs of their own. But they're a much smaller amount than the entirety of the Overwatch player base. Let's just say, for argument's sake, they've got 1,000 testers. 1,000 testers testing a patch for 2 weeks still pales in comparison to an hour of the entire Overwatch player base trying out a patch. So it makes sense that things would get missed with a smaller sample size. But there's something else that I think might also be happening. I do believe that some of this did in fact come from the Uprising event. I think specifically they said Mei's attack and ultimate not being able to slow was a result of some of her interaction with the Omnic event crisis thing. But some of these, I believe, might also just be older bugs that are just now being discovered due to sheer volume and time. We have some, 25 million, 30 million player base strong in this game after months and months and months, and now at this point almost a year of playing that game. Some things are just now being discovered, and there will be more and more bugs in the future that just continue to get discovered. Things that Blizzard had no clue about, and we didn't know about just because the specific situations. Like a great example is the Infinite Dragon Blade Genji bug, where I think it is he has his ultimate up and available, he dashes and casts it at the same time, he gets hooked by Roadhog, but Roadhog dies at the exact same time. It's a really convoluted situation, and something that you won't see happen on a regular basis, but when it does, Genji has his Dragon Blade to use in perpetuity until somebody kills him. That's a scary situation. So there's a lot of stuff that I think just gets discovered as more and more and more time takes place and more of these weird situations are discovered. We know for sure that a good chunk of these were bugs that were around before the Uprising event. So we can't blame everything on Uprising and the lack of PTR testing. Some of it's just stuff that's been around for a while. We're just happening to find ourselves in these situations, and it seems to be happening at an increased rate recently, but I think that might just be, frankly, coincidence. I'm seeing a lot more stuff pop up than I remember in the first 6 months of Overwatch's launch. Or maybe it's just that I'm paying more attention to the bugs that do pop up, and I'm making more videos about them. I'm not sure. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. How do you feel about all of the bugs that we've been seeing in Overwatch recently? Do you agree that, yeah, sure, some of them probably came from the Uprising event. We know for sure some of them did. But that also, a lot of them might have just been here from the launch of the game. We're just now discovering them and shedding light on them. And hopefully as soon as Blizzard fixes these issues, they go away for good. We'll never eliminate bugs completely, especially as Blizzard continues to add more content, more events, more skins, more heroes to the game, more maps to the games. New things will always pop up. But the more we can limit them, especially the game-breaking ones, like an invincible teleporter, an infinite dragon blade, or characters like D.Va literally crashing matches, the fewer of those, the better, obviously. Alright everybody, that is going to do it for me here today. As always, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the video, hope you have a good one, and until next time, I'll see you later.